Download this code from codegive.com, link in the description below. Certainly, moving away from nextauth.js can be a significant decision, especially if you have been relying on it for authentication in your next.js application. Below is a tutorial that outlines how to transition from nextauth to a custom authentication solution using jsonwebtokens, jwts, or a similar approach. I'll provide a simple example for user authentication. Moving away from nextauth.js, a custom authentication solution. Step 1. Setting up your next.js application. First, make sure you have a next.js application set up. If you don't have one, you can create it using the following command: bash npx create nextapp at latest mynextapp cd mynextapp. Step 2. Installing required packages. To handle jwts, we'll use the jsonwebtoken package. Additionally, we'll need a package for password hashing, such as bcrypt. Bash npm install jsonwebtoken bcrypt. Step 3. Creating a simple user model. For this example, we will create a simple in-memory user store. In a real application, you would replace this with a database. Create a file at ./lib/users.js. JavaScript //lib/users.js. Import bcrypt from bcrypt. Const users equals / in-memory user store. Export const create user equals async, username, password, equals. Const hashed password equals await bcrypt.hash, password, 10. Const user equals username, password, hashed password. Users.push, user. Return user. Export const find user by username equals, username, equals. Return users.find, user equals user.username equals username. Step 4. Setting up API routes for authentication. Next, we will create API routes for registration and login. Create a file at ./pages/api/auth/register.js. JavaScript //pages/api/auth/register.js. Import create user from //lib/users. Export default async function handler, req, res. If req method equals post. Const username, password equals req body. If username, password. Return res.status, 400.json, message, username and password are required. Const user equals await create user, username, password. Return res.status, 201.json, message, user created, user. Res.setEditor, allow, post. Res.status, 405.end, method $req method not allowed. Create a file at ./pages/api/auth/login.js. JavaScript //pages/api/auth/login.js. Import find user by username from //lib/users. Import JWT from jsonwebtoken. Import bcrypt from bcrypt. Const secret underscore key equals your underscore secret underscore key, / use an environment variable in production. Export default async function handler, req, res. If req method equals post. Const username, password equals req body. Const user equals find user by username, username. If user. Return rest.status, 401.json, message, invalid credentials. Const is password valid equals await bcrypt.compare, password, user.password. If, is password valid. Return rest.status, 401.json, message, invalid credentials. Const token equals jwt.sign, username, secret underscore key, expires in 1h. Return rest.status, 200.json, token. Rest.setEditor, allow, post. Rest.status, 405.end, method $req method not allowed. Step 5, creating a login form. In your next.js application, you can create a simple login form. Create a new component at ./components/loginform.js. JavaScript //components/loginform.js. Import useState from React. Export default function login form. Const username, set username equals useState. Const password, set password equals useState. Const message, set message equals useState. Const handle submit equals async, equals e.prevent default. Const response equals await fetch, /API/auth/login. Method, post. Headers, content type, application/JSON. Body, JSON.stringify, username, password. Const data equals await response.json. If, response.ok. Set message, login successful. Token, plus data.token. Else. Set message, data.message. Return. Form on submit equals handle submit. Input. Type equals text. Value equals username. On change equals, equals set username, e.target.value. Placeholder equals username. Required. / Input. Type equals password. Value equals password. On change equals, equals set password, e.target.value. Placeholder equals password. Required. / Button type equals submit login /button. Message end p message /p. /form. Step 6, using the login form in your application. You can now use the login form component in a page. For instance, modify ./pages/index.js. JavaScript //pages/index.js. Import login form from /components/login form. Export default function home. Return. div. h1 login/h1. Login form /div. Step 7, securing routes with JWT. To secure your routes using the JWT, you would typically implement a middleware that checks for a valid token in incoming requests. Here's a simple example. Create a file at ./lib/auth.js. JavaScript //lib/auth.js. Import JWT from jsonwebtoken. Const secret underscore key equals your underscore secret underscore key, / use an environment variable in production. Export const authenticate token equals, req, res, next, equals. Const token equals req headers authorization. Split, 1. If, token. Return rest.send status, 401. jwt.verify, token, secret_key, air, user, equals. If, air. Return res.send status, 403. req user equals user. Next. You can then use this middleware in your API routes to protect them. Conclusion. This tutorial walked you through moving away from nextauth.js to a custom authentication solution using jwts. This setup provides a foundational structure for user registration and login, but remember that in a production application, you should implement additional security measures, such as storing user data in a database, utilizing environment variables for sensitive information, implementing refresh tokens for better user experience, adding user session management, validating input data to prevent injections or other attacks. Feel free to expand upon this foundation according to your application's needs.